Hey everyone, so our screen finished drying, and what we're going to do now is we're going to put it on the press, line it up, and get it ready for printing. So here's our screen. This is our print head. I already have a few jobs up here, so we're just going to put it right next to those. We're going to slip it right in here. We're not going to tighten it yet because we got to align it. All right, and this is my platen. As you can see, it has some lines on it, and these are our measurement lines. This is the center point of the platen. It's just Sharpie, and this is where usually the collar will go, and then this is where the design will start. It's like 2 inches from the collar. So when I put this tape on here, I just measure it out with a ruler and draw the Sharpie lines. So we're gonna bring our screen down, and then our little alignment points that we put on here is what we're gonna use to align to the middle vertical line. So I'm just really getting it straight. I'm lining this up. Oops, it's a little tricky sometimes. All right, so when I got it aligned, I'm just gonna tighten these pretty tight. So now it is locked in. There we go. So that's how we get it on there. And we're gonna tape up the screen now, so that way we don't accidentally print on the shirt, because these clear parts, that's like an open hole. And ink can go through there onto our shirt, and we don't want that. So we're gonna bring it down. I have this special screen printing tape, and it has super like low tackiness, because what I found with like a like a masking tape or like a packing tape is that it's super gooey, and if you get it on here you can't ever get the goo out. So this is specially made for screens. You can get it on screenprinting.com. So we're just going to tape a little bit down here and a little bit on the sides. Cover it here. You can tape more or less, it's up to you. Also, we want to tape our registration points because those will print if we don't. So I just put a little piece of tape over it. You can do this on the front or the underside. I prefer the front because it's just easier to get the tape off if no ink has even gotten there. All right. Next is our ink. So this is just a white ink. It's for like all cottons and blends. If you're printing on polyester, that's actually going to be a different kind of ink. So this one will dry at like 330 degrees. Polyester can't handle that kind of heat, and so it needs a lower cure ink. So those ones dry at like 270. But since we're just going to print on cotton, we're going to be fine with this. So I'm just going to put a bunch of ink down here. Just making sure I'm going across the whole width of the design. There you go. I'm just going to put a little because I don't need that much. And we are going to print on this long sleeve t-shirt. So it's a Comfort Colors. Comfort Colors. And they're not the softest, but I do love the colors because they're like hand dyed. And so they're really great if you need something a little thicker and more like sturdy, I guess, like heavyweight. I'll create another video going over different shirt types and blends and what's like most expensive versus cheapest. But we're gonna print on the back of this. So before we even do that, we gotta get a squeegee. we're going to get one. I have a whole squeegee rack. All right, it's our squeegee. So what we're gonna essentially do is we're gonna make sure we get the ink all the way across. We're not pushing hard. We're just trying to get the ink across. And then when we're ready, we will use the squeegee and we'll just drag it down. And when this part happens, we actually do want to be pushing, you know, moderately hard, because that's going to get the ink through the screen and onto the shirt. So we're going to line the shirt up on the platen, and then we'll print. I have over here this spray tack. So what this does is it helps the shirt stick to this. You want it to stick because if it doesn't and it moves around, you're gonna get some weird printing, like mistakes happening. So we want it to stick. All right. And I'm just gonna get the back of this shirt. I'll put it all the way up. We want the whole collar so I can see the collar, and these are the side seams. What I do is I pinch these and I pull it straight back, trying to get it as even with this center mark. So I pinch it straight back, and then I measure both sides. I look at both sides from the platen over to the sleeve and see if that's about the same. And it's maybe a little bit too far to the right. So I'm just gonna pull it back again and move it slightly over. All right, so when we're ready, we're just gonna press it down and pull this down. We're gonna push some ink very lightly. Across here. All right, and we're gonna pull nice and hard. And it's gonna look like it hasn't fully gone through, so we're gonna pull again. Decent amount of pressure. And one more. I'm actually really pushing into that. And one of the good things that you want is as soon as you print, you see how this has some room? That's called your off contact. So you want to make sure you actually have a little off contact. So when you print, the mesh like springs back, because if it just stays there, then it might rip off some of the ink. I'm gonna go one more time. There we go. Put it over there, and then we'll see. All right, this is our first print. Usually with white, we'll have to do it a second time. So I'll put this under the flash heater right over there, and then it'll dry a little bit, and then we'll print again on top of this. So I moved the black flash over it, and I got this temperature gun, and we're gonna see how hot it's actually getting. So it, on the surface, this ink is about 200 degrees. The temp of actually the bottom of that heat thing is 480. So this gives out a lot of heat, and we only want to put the shirt under there for maybe like 10 seconds max when it's all the way heated up. So when it's about 300 degrees, that'll be 10 seconds. Any longer, you know, will be less and less time. So we're at like 240. I'm gonna pull it out, and then we're going to print again. So we just do the same thing. I'm covering the screen with ink, and then I'm gonna push down pretty hard. All right, so it's a lot more white. I don't know if you can see that. It's a lot more white, and then I'm going to put it under there and dry it. You'll know when it's dry when we take it out and we touch and there's no ink. Sometimes it might be a little sticky. That's that's cool, but I prefer it to be pretty dry when I take it off of here, because there's been a few times when it's wet and I take it off and then I smear it and you're kind of messed up that shirt. I also have a heat press. I don't have a conveyor belt, so this allows me to get it onto the heat press without smudging it. So I'll take the shirt off. And how we do that is you kind of want to pull it up, and then you grab this side and you just swipe it up. And here is the shirt.